Listen, most people don't lose money in the market because they picked the wrong stock. They lose it because they broke a rule they didn't even know existed. There are just a handful of investing rules that quietly decide who actually builds wealth and who just spends years going nowhere. And they aren't complicated, you're not secret, but almost nobody actually follows them, especially the fourth one, which feels exactly right in the moment, but is actually completely backwards. So in the next few minutes of this explainer, I'm going to walk you through the 5 rules that matter most. And look, we're keeping this grounded. There's no hype here, absolutely no hot stock tips. We're just looking at the core rules that do all the heavy lifting for you, whether you're investing your very first $100 or your 100,000th. All right, section 1, why rules actually beat tips. Here's the thing nobody tells beginners. Investing isn't hard because the math is complicated. It's really not. It's hard because your emotions are fighting you the entire way. Think about it. When you don't have a set of rules, every single little market move becomes this high-stress decision. The market drops, so you're thinking, do I sell? Or something is suddenly mooning online, so you think, do I jump in? That constant decision-making, that's exactly where people completely blow up their returns. Rules, on the other hand, well, they remove those decisions. They act like a compass to keep you steady when literally everything around you is screaming at you to panic. So let's get into what these 5 rules actually are. Rule number 1, the compounding engine. This is the foundation everything else is built on. You've got to let compounding do the work. Now, if you've never heard that term before, compounding simply means your returns start earning returns of their own. It's kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill, right? It starts out really small, super slow, but as it gathers snow, it becomes massive and basically unstoppable over time. Let's actually look at the math to put this into perspective. Say you invest $1,000 at, say, an 8% return. After a year, you've got around $1,080. But here's the magic. The next year, you don't just earn on your original 1,000. You earn on those $80 in gains too. And here's what makes that so real. That snowball is powered almost entirely by time, not by how clever you are at picking stocks, which means the single most powerful move you can make isn't trying to pick a better investment. No, it's starting earlier and refusing to interrupt that snowball. Most people completely underestimate this for years, and then they look back wishing they'd understood it a lot sooner. Moving on to rule number 2, diversify. Basically, never let a single bet decide your entire future. Look, when you put everything into one stock, you're not really investing. You're gambling. You're gambling on one single company's story. And if that company stumbles, well, so do you. Diversification is the exact opposite of that. You spread your money out across many companies, lots of sectors, even different countries. That way, no single failure can ever take you down. This is exactly why broad, low-cost index funds are the foundation for most successful investors. Instead of trying to bet on one winner, you just own a tiny slice of the whole market. If one company tanks, you barely even feel it. The goal here isn't being right about a stock. It's making sure that being wrong can't hurt you. Is it boring? Yeah, for sure, and that's exactly the point. If you want excitement, take your money to Vegas. But if you want wealth, you've got to embrace the boredom. Okay, rule number 3, time in the market is greater than timing the market. You've got to stop trying to time it perfectly. It's human nature, right? Everyone wants to buy right before the market goes up and sell right before it crashes. But here's the massive problem with that. Almost nobody can do it consistently. And yes, that includes the professionals who literally do this full time. See, the market's best days often come right after its absolute worst ones. Historically, missing just the 10 best days in the market over a decade can literally cut your overall returns in half. If you're sitting on the sidelines just waiting for that perfect moment to jump back in, you're going to miss them. The investors who win aren't the ones who magically guessed the top. They're the ones who stayed invested through all the ups and all the downs and just let the long-term trend carry them. Investing is a marathon, not a sprint. Time in the market beats timing the market pretty much every single time. Now, what feels absolutely right in the moment but is actually exactly backwards? This brings us to rule 4, and I really want you to pay close attention here because this is the one that trips up even the smartest, most experienced investors out there. It's the rule that feels completely wrong in your gut, which is exactly why so few people are able to follow it. Rule 4, control your emotions, because your emotions are the enemy here, not the market. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding exactly how fear and greed manipulate you. When the market crashes and your account is just bleeding red, every human instinct screams at you to sell. Just get out, protect whatever's left, right? And on the flip side, when everything is soaring and your friends are bragging about their massive gains, greed whispers at you to buy more, to get in before you miss out. So fear makes you sell low, and greed makes you buy high. You're doing the exact opposite of how wealth is actually built. Here's the uncomfortable truth. That terrifying crash that feels like the exact time to run away is, historically, the time the disciplined investor keeps buying. Because suddenly, everything is on sale. But listen, you don't have to be a hero about this. You just have to not panic. And the absolute easiest, most reliable way to guarantee you won't panic? Remove yourself from the decision entirely. Just automate your investing. Set it up so it keeps running and buying no matter what you're feeling on a Tuesday morning. The system doesn't get scared. You do. By simply automating the process, you remove that fearful emotion from the equation entirely. Which leads us nicely to Rule 5. Keep learning, but ignore the noise. You know, the market is always evolving. There are new tools, new options, and new opportunities showing up constantly. And staying curious and informed, that's genuinely a valuable thing. But there's a massive trap right here. Most of what gets shouted at you online isn't actually information. It's just noise. It's hype, it's fear, and it's people desperately trying to sell you something. The real skill isn't consuming more content. It's learning how to tell the difference between a timeless principle that lasts and a flashy headline designed to make you act today. Real learning makes you calmer. It makes you more patient. If something you just learned makes you want to panic buy or panic sell right this very second, that's not education. That is marketing. Okay, let's move into putting it all together. I want to show you the actual impact of these rules. Picture two hypothetical investors, and we'll say they're both starting with exactly $10,000. Let's look at what happens over a 20-year period. On one side, we have the rule follower. They diversify, they think long-term, they automate their contributions, they stay totally calm when the market drops, and they tune out all that online noise. Over those 20 years, that quiet discipline compounds their initial $10,000 into something many, many times larger. On the flip side, we have the rule breaker. They chase hot tips, they pile into single stock bets, they are constantly trying to time every little market move, and they inevitably panic sell during downturns. After the exact same 20 years, and starting with the exact same amount of money, the rule breaker is often barely where they began, or sometimes they're even worse off. Think about that. They experienced the exact same market, they had the same start and the same amount of time. The only difference? The rules. So, here's your one move after finishing this explainer. Please do not try to master all 5 of these rules at once. Look at the list and pick the one rule you know you break the most. For a whole lot of people, it's timing the market or panic selling. Once you identify it, just focus on fixing that one rule. And honestly, the absolute simplest way to fix almost all of these bad habits is to just automate your investing. Do that, and rules 3 and 4 pretty much take care of themselves without you having to lift a single finger. If this explainer gave you a clearer, more honest picture of how investing actually works, well, that's exactly what this channel, Growth Minded, is all about. Personal finance. No hype, just the rules that actually matter. Please hit subscribe so the next explainer finds you. And hey, before you go, tell me down in the comments, which of these 5 rules is the hardest for you to follow? Remember, the market doesn't care about your feelings, but your bank account completely depends on how well you manage them. Keep building, and I'll see you next time.